A jury has found former nurse Rajwinder Singh guilty of the 2018 murder of Toyah Cordingley. It took about 7 hours for the jury to reach its verdict following a 4-week trial at the Supreme Court in Cairns in Far North Queensland. Reporter Connor Byrne joins us now from Cairns. Connor, what can you tell us?
So the jury this afternoon at about 4:15 returned after about 7 hours of deliberation since Friday to say that they all agreed that Rajwinder Singh was guilty of murdering Toyah Cordingley, who's a 24-year-old pharmacy worker from Cairns in Far North Queensland. She was found killed on Wangetti Beach, which is about 34 kilometres northwest of Cairns, on a Sunday, the 21st of October 2018. And the prosecution's case brought that a man named Rajwinder Singh, who was an Innisfail nurse, who is not known to Ms Cordingley, or a known relationship is known between them, was at the grave, and DNA belonging, with a strong likelihood of belonging to Mr Singh, was found on a stick on Ms Cordingley's shallow sand grave. Her dog Indy was found tied up nearby, about 30 metres away, so tightly to a tree that the dog could not even sit down. But police closed the loop. They used a theory called timing advance, where they used phone pings and phone detection from cell towers to follow Ms Cordingley's phone, which they say travelled south along the Captain Cook Highway to the northern suburbs of Cairns. And they used this data and they correlated it with CCTV and traffic camera sightings of Mr Singh's Alfa Romeo, the blue car, the 156, which drove minute for minute, second for second, metre for metre in tandem with Ms Cordingley's phone, and he threw it in the Barron River. And then CCTV footage shows him seconds before the phone was thrown in the river and seconds after the phone disappeared. The next morning, Rajwinder Singh inexplicably left his family home in Innisfail. He told his family that he'd be back in 2 days. He was never to return. The next day, he was on his way to India, and he would there hide for 4 years, despite his father going to look for him. He travelled through Sydney. He lied to his sister in Sydney. He lied to his family, and he lied to the travel agent, saying his grandfather was sick, and that's why he was going to India, even though his grandfather was in good health. So the police case brought an extradition order to India, and after 4 years, he was caught, brought back to Cairns, and he's been in custody for just over 3 years at this stage. This is the second trial that Rajwinder Singh has been a part of. About 8 months ago, a jury was unable to decide if he was guilty or not, and that resulted in a hung jury. So this is the second case that we've heard from of Rajwinder Singh. And after 3 weeks of evidence, 82 witnesses, a week of summing up and closing statements, and 7 hours of jury deliberations, the jury found him guilty, and this chapter is closed. And Toyah Cordingley's mother and father spoke separately outside the court to thank the police for their work, and they are happy that this chapter in their life is now closed, and they have asked for privacy.
And Connor, what had Rajwinder Singh's defence been?
So the defence of Rajwinder Singh, he did not speak other than to say he was not guilty at the start of the trial. He was caught in a secret watch house recording just beside me here to the left after his first court appearance in March 2023. And an undercover officer asked him about his life and became friendly with him. And he said he saw Toyah Cordingley being killed by masked men on the beach that day, and he ran for his life. He feared for his life, and that's why he ran away and went to India. And that is the only time apart from hearing a recorded travel agent conversation, that's the other time we heard Rajwinder Singh's voice in the courtroom. The defence say that he was in an unhappy marriage, and he had already tried to leave his wife. He'd been denied a divorce, and he went to stay with his cousin for a week or 10 days in that same year, 2018, the same year that Toyah Cordingley died, and that this was another attempt to flee his unhappy life in his home in Innisfail. As a result, the family were unable to keep up the mortgage. Their home was repossessed, and they had to move out of their home. It's unknown where they are now, but we heard from them in the courtroom, including Mr Singh's parents.
And Connor, this case has garnered huge attention in Far North Queensland over the years.
Absolutely. It's hard to come to this town, to Cairns or Far North Queensland, without seeing Justice for Toyah bumper stickers on the back of every other car. When I first came to Cairns, it was one of the first things I noticed. And it's hung like a cloud over this tourist region. People want to be able to come here, have a nice time, go on holidays, enjoy the sunshine, and not fear for their lives. And when a 24-year-old woman went for a walk on a remote beach with her dog and was murdered in the most horrific way, it really took away the innocence of this town a lot, and people were outraged, and rightly outraged about this. And it was a question put to the jury, the potential jury pool, before the trial even began. Were people involved in any Justice for Toyah social media groups? Did they have Toyah Cordingley bumper stickers on their car? Did they donate? Did they attend Ms Cordingley's funeral? So that's how important this trial was to the region, and that's how important Ms Cordingley's death was to this region. Now, it's worth saying that Rajwinder Singh still has a 28-day appeal period in which he can appeal. We spoke to his barrister, Greg Maguire KC, outside court earlier, and he refused to answer questions but say that he would hope he would continue representing Rajwinder Singh.
And Connor, what more can you tell us about Toyah Cordingley's parents? How involved were they in watching the case over the last month? And what more did they have to say outside court?
Yeah, Toyah Cordingley's parents were in court every day for the two trials. So this was the 5-week trial this time and the 4-week trial earlier this year. The only time they weren't in the court was when there were some quite gruesome photographs of the grave and what happened to Toyah Cordingley shown in the court, and they were given notice and they left the courtroom at that point. There was also a point during the closing statement from Greg Maguire KC where Toyah Cordingley's parents left the courtroom. They were separated when Ms Cordingley was less than 2 years old, and they were very gracious outside the court. They were clearly emotional. They did thank everybody. It was unexpected that they were going to speak. To be honest, we didn't expect them to say anything, and they came out, they had prepared statements. But their composure was excellent. In the courtroom, in the courthouse for the last 5 weeks, they have kept their emotions under control. They have been polite and courteous to everybody. They respected the system, and they worked with police. They thanked the police, and police thanked them for working with them in the trial period.
Okay, Connor Byrne reporting there from Cairns in Far North Queensland.